Shalom. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect who's pushing this word in all sincerity and all truth throughout the four corners of the earth. And this is a lesson going in on the word Charagma, and just a little bit of information, a little bit more information on it. Also, I wanted to say that I'm not an actual part of Great Millstone, but I believe that they have the 100% truth. Okay, this word Charagma is let's get this right here. Okay, Charagma, which we believe is the mark of the beast. Okay, the implantable microchip. Okay, and I was watching something on I think it was Side Network, and somebody went to Ezekiel chapter 9, and it talked about the mark, but that's not the same thing. And what I wanted to show, that this particular mark was it was pretty much hardware, and there was something that I noticed. Let me see if I can bring this up. The word Charagma, one of the meanings of it is bear with me for a little bit. Revelation chapter 13. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. He calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And you click on it, enter in there, and we go down to that row with that word mark. Charagma. Okay.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma.
Do that one more time.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma.
All right. And the definition is a stamp, an imprinted mark. Okay. And certain individuals believe that this is not a physical mark, but it's going to be meaning it's the mark of the Antichrist, meaning that it's in your mind and through your actions, your right hand through your actions. But this is a physical mark, and to go and show you that, if you look at, I looked up this particular word online etymology. Okay, this is sigil, a sign, mark, or seal. Latin for sigillum. Okay. In astrology and occult device supposed to have great power. Okay. And it kind of remind me of this word. They pretty much sound the same. They pretty much are the same. Okay. Visible sign indication from the old French signal, seal, and print. Okay. And ain't that what that said for that particular word? And print, sign, mark. Okay. And printed mark. And this technology, basically, with certain signals, you send and receive messages. Okay. And that's what they're doing now, buying and selling through this particular mark. You know, going in with smart home technology, being able to unlock their doors, start their cars. A message is being sent back and forth in printed mark. Okay, this has to be etched inside of your skin. Okay, this is nothing. There's no antichrist in the mind and in your right hand in your actions. Okay, and this is really nothing new. This is I looked this up, badges of servitude. And there was some information on, here it is, slave hire badges of Charleston, South Carolina. Okay, slavery, it goes into slavery, but it goes also into that system allowed the slaveholder to pay a license fee, good for 1 year at a time, on a sliding scale based on the occupation. In return, he would receive a copper tag or badge for each slave license. The master was then allowed to hire that slave out to private individuals, businesses, or even municipal government, with the proviso that the slave would wear the badge at all times when on these hire out jobs, and that the slave could only perform the function he was licensed to perform. Who benefited from this? Now, this is nothing new. We had, I think this was probably right out of slavery, and we couldn't really get jobs, so this is only one of the only ways that our people could get food and eat and stuff like that. And if you look down here, it had information on it, the occupations that were found on these badges: servant. Okay, so it's pretty much the same thing now with this implantable chip. Your servant is the most common, with maybe 60% of the surviving badges bearing the designation. The next most common is porter, roughly 20%, and it has your skill set on there. It had information on there, sort of like the ones that's going to have now. It's going to have your information, your medical information, your banking information. All these things are going to be put on there, And when you go into what I mainly wanted to get into is, when you go into these particular sigils, it says a type of symbol used in ritual magic. The term has usually referred to a type of pictorial signature of a jinn, which is a demon or other entity. In modern usage, especially in context of chaos magic, sigils refer to symbolic representation of the practitioner's desired outcome. And what I noticed when I looked at these, they kind of remind me of symbols on a wiring schematic. Okay, now remember, the word sigil and signal is pretty much the same thing. And if you was to pull up a wiring schematic and pipe some of these components and strip away the definitions of them, you pretty much couldn't tell the difference between the other. So the point that I was making was that magic and technology is pretty much one and the same, and that's what they're using. They're using power on the left-hand side. Okay, it says refers to a representation of the practitioner's desired outcome. So when you take that mark, what is that? What is their desired outcome? To enslave you and to bind you to some kind of force, a demon. Okay. And in the history of it, in medieval ceremonial magic, the term sigil was commonly used to refer to occult signs representing various angels and demons, which the witch might summon. In the magical training books called grimoires, often listed pages of such sigils, a particularly well-known list of in the Lesser Keys of Solomon. Now, these books were not new. They were employed back then. When the apostles were back then, they were dealing with these things. And if you go into, if I'm not mistaken, this is the book of Acts, chapter 19, we start at verse 17. And this was known to all the Jews and Greeks also dwelling in Ephesus, and fear fell on them, and the name of the Lord was magnified. So a lot of people were being baptized, and the Holy Spirit was coming upon them. They were being no, I'm sorry. This is the 7 sons of Sceva. Okay. And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, Jew, and chief priest, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahweh Shai I know, Paul I know, but who are ye? And the man whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them, prevailed against them, so that they fled out of the house naked and wounded. It was known to all the Jews and Greeks also dwelling in Ephesus, and fear fell on them, and the name of Yahweh Shai was magnified. Okay, they tried to use, if you go down and read more, and many that believed came and confessed and showed their deeds, and many of them also which used curious arts, brought their books together and burned them before all men, and counted the price of them, and found it 50,000 pieces of silver. And the word curious arts, curious arts basically means magical arts. Okay, so they were doing that back then, casting in this sense they was trying to cast out a demon, but they used the wrong name. They were trying to cast out demons some other kind of way. And this magic was passed on, throughout time. But if it says a common method of creating sigils of certain spirits was to use kameas, the name of the spirits were converted to numbers, which were then located on the magic square. The locations were then connected by lines forming an abstract figure. And a lot of this sounds like geometry, certain kinds of things, but certain types of mathematics. But if you also go back to that, where was I at? Go back to that. Forgive me for a minute. Well, in any event, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. When you go down, it said that they, certain of the vagabond Jews, exorcists, okay, look at that word exorcist. An exorcist, one who employs a formula of conjuration or expelling demons. And that's what it says right here. Names of the spirits were converted to numbers, and they had certain formulas which they used. But mainly I didn't want to go all into this. I just wanted to go into showing that how a lot of this is hardware. If you look at these particular symbols right here, and you go into I don't know if I had a wiring diagrams, they're pretty much, some of the symbols look the same. So magic is this particular magic is used through technology on the left hand side. And this is not no antichrist in the mind or on the right hand type situation. This is a physical mark. Okay, this is a physical mark. This is what this is. Okay. This is what this is. Plannable RFID chips. Okay. Okay, they send singles. How else are they going to work? By sending singles back and forth. Okay. by sending singles back and forth. Okay. You know what a single is, right? Signal. Image conveyed in telegraphy, telephony, radio, radar, or television. An object used to transmit or convey information beyond the range of the human voice. Okay? Detectable, physical quantity or impulse, such as voltage, current, or magnetic field by which messages or information can be transmitted. Okay? So if you see, this word is pretty much the same as sigil, and it incites to action. It's pretty much the same word if you go into etymology. Sign, mark, seal, sigil. Sign, mark, seal, imprint. Okay. So a lot of times you do have to really look up these words and do a word search and go deep within these words. And this thing that we have here is it's a implantable microchip, man. Alright. That's these things. Encrypted messages sent back and forth. You know. And this particular people on the other end, they can program these things to do certain things that they want, as it says in there. But what does it says? Representation of the practitioner's desired outcome. All right. So how do they do that? By programming and sending singles and coded messages, you know, so they can have a desired outcome, whatever that may be. All right. So I hope that you've been edified through this message. And with that, shalom.